Good morning, everyone. Poetry, Module 1 continuation. Third topic, rhyme. We dealt in the offline session. Still, I would like to deal with the screen because it will be fine for you to see the typed format, not it on board. Still, it will be helpful, I think. The repetition, rhyme, and we have to discuss the next topic as rhythm. And you are likely to be confused if you understand until you get this idea properly well. So rhyme, actually the repetition of the last stressed vowel sound and the following consonant sounds that end sound only. Rhyme. You have six types of rhyme. Repetition of the last stressed vowel. Rhyming a pattern and all, and we came across different kinds of rhymes. The six types of rhymes we discussed in the last session. That is end rhyme. End rhyme occurs at the end of a rhyme. That's the only definition. And you have have an example here. In typing it, the alignment is not actually properly available. You see, the music in my heart I bore. Long after it was heard no more. Bore more. So you know how it is rhyming. That particular rhyming is giving beauty to its way of our way of yeah. Uh, if it is about recitation, obviously we recite poems, and in that case, rhymes are really adding added beauty to that. The internal rhyme, we told, as the name suggests, it's a rhyme occurs within a line. You have to compare it with the other part. See here, end rhyme is occurring at the end of and between the ends. Like, but internal rhyme is inside. You see, in mist or cloud. It's one of the lines from a poem. And in the in mist or cloud or mast or shout out, that sound out. You can see those rhyming in between, like internally. It's not at the end only within two lines, but inside a line itself, within a line itself, you have a rhyme. Okay, and the split rhyme. We took the example from one of the poems, which is under prescription. That's been over. Well, you have, for the sake of rhyming, to bring that rhyming effect, you divide a word. Even the word is getting divided. Right? If you take that very line itself from the poem, let us take that poem. Let me get that poem for you. Just wait. If that file is available, I would like to. It's not there. Tool 1. The poetry is not here. Please be on time. Have you seen that? I caught this morning's minion, kingdom. Obviously, it's a term, kingdom. Of daylights, and the poet is not writing it here. It's split. You're splitting for the sake of rhyming effect. Of of daylight's dolphin, double down, drawn falcon in his riding. This is the way you take that, you get that split. You're splitting the line, the term itself, the word itself, dividing a word to get the rhyming effect. Okay, then. So again, that splitting effect is taken down here, but I took the the lines to see how important it is for certainly. Sometimes the poet takes it very seriously. Poets take it very seriously to get the rhyming effect, because writing poetry is not actually that easy, or not actually that much easy as you talk about. Prose writing, essay writing, you need a lot of devices of this kind. Yes. So split rhyme. After that, you talk about masculine line and feminine. When I told you, don't go for maximum, more complication. At time now, at present, at your graduate level, you just know that 6 types of rhymes are there. And the third type, triple rhyme, is the 3 syllables rhyming, like comparison, garrison, comparison. So the those 3 sounds, three different syllables rhyming, and that's one way of talking about triple rhyme. 6 different types of rhyme, and mainly you have to note down the first 3 itself. Okay, yes. Then now we are going to the next topic, rhythm. Rhythm. See, rhythm. What is a rhythm? Rhyme, we talked about rhyme. Rhyme, just go back to the definition once again. The repetition of the last stressed vowel sound and the following consonant sound. Repetition is a concept involved in rhyming. Stress is the vowel sound is the, and let us go to rhythm. In that case, what is a rhythm? In all spoken English, we sense a rhythm, that is, a recognizable, although varying pattern in the beat of the stresses. See? In all spoken English, we sense a rhythm, rhythmic, pattern, like again, pattern itself is the concept. Not just with this or that. But in poem, it's recitation, it's composition. We always stay concerned with all these ideas, like how beautifully I can a maximum beautifying, maximum stressing according to the norms, according to prosody rules, bringing rhyming words, rhythm, patterns, so that your recitation becomes more effective, beautiful. So here, rhythm is in all spoken English. Everywhere, wherever you are using a language in English, especially in English where you have maximum importance for stress, tone, pitch, all those. In Malayalam, we don't usually go for giving importance to stress and all. You feel it like an awkward thing to talk like that. So you think about where you are stressing unlikely while we are using our mother tongue. But English it's must. That's why it's not commonly about language, but spoken English itself is stressed here. We sense a rhythm that is a recognizable, although varying pattern. Can be different. Varying pattern. It should not be always end rhyme. It should not be always say split rhyme. But in as a whole, you get a provision, possibility to talk about a varying pattern, to recognize a varying pattern in the beat of the stresses or accents, the more forcefully uttered, hence louder syllables. Even with the concept of meter and all, we came across this already. How important it is to stress on certain words. How important it is to stay away from stressing a particular part. There we call it weak sound. അല്ലെ അത് മാറി മാറിയിട്ടാണ് ഒരു വേർഡിന്റെ തന്നെ ചില ഭാഗങ്ങൾ സ്ട്രെസ് ചെയ്യുന്നത്. അതൊരിക്കലും വേർഡ് ടു വേർഡ് ഒന്നുമല്ല, ചില വേർഡ്സിന്റെ തന്നെ ഉള്ളിലാണ് സ്ട്രെസ്സും അൺസ്ട്രെസ്സും ഒക്കെ വരുന്നത്. So it's very important that you note it down. Or accents. Accent is very important for such a language like English. Your pronunciation matters a lot. And in the stream of speech sounds is streaming. Speech sounds are streamed. When you speak something, your way of talking is very elegant. You are giving stress to wherever it is necessary. You are speaking in a very musical way. So that's very urgent and important, not just in poetry recitation. That's why spoken English as such is mentioned here, though it is in the context of poetry and prosody. Prosody, it's about the complete rules, about the composition of poems, versification, then about the recitation, All these rules are under the broad area of prosody. Prosody. Okay, and the stream of speech sounds in meter. This rhythm is structured into a recurrence of regular, that is, approximately equivalent units of stress pattern. Yeah, meter, through meter, sometimes with a rhythm, rhyming pattern, we bring the effect of this rhythm, the effect, the kind of feel of this rhythmic. Yeah, this poem, it's very rhythmic. Rhythm is a broad, you have to take it in the broad sense. Most of the poetic devices like meter, pattern, rhyme scheme, everything all together bring the effect of rhythm. So rhythm is not actually, you cannot talk about rhythm in, yeah, you have to arrange it in this way, splitting or ending, end rhyme, uh, internal rhyme. We talked about rhyme in that way. But rhythm is a rhythm, if you want, you can take it in a broader way. Like those effect, all those together combinedly bring the effect of rhythm. അങ്ങനെ ഓർമ്മിക്കണം കാരണം മറ്റു പല ഡിവൈസസ് നമ്മൾ ഇതിൽ പോയം കോമ്പോസിഷനിൽ ത്രൂ പ്രോസഡി ആൻഡ് പ്രോസഡി സെക്ഷൻ വി വിൽ ലേൺ ഇതൊക്കെ വെൻ യു മേക്ക് യൂസ് ഓഫ് ഓൾ ദീസ്. After that, what you get is the effect of rhythm in your poetry, in your poetic compositions. Okay, so it's about the structure. It's structured into a recurrence. Recurrence means repeating, repetition of regular, most often regular. That is approximately equivalent. That's approximately equivalent. If you talk about, uh, iambic pentameter, the whole poem is written in that way. Just think about that genius, creative genius. At the same time, the person has to give importance to what he has to or she has to uh, convey as the theme. Elegy written in a country churchyard. When Thomas Gray writes that, he cannot compromise the theme that he intends to communicate. The elegy written in a country churchyard. We will learn about that poem. We will see that poem. And how lengthy it is. Then you will understand how difficult it might have been on the part of the poet to compose every line within the same pattern, same meter, using the same meter. How difficult. Free verse is not that difficult. See, if you compose a poem without meter, without any of these concerns, it's easy that you can give importance to your theme. You can add any words of your choice. But stress pattern on each word is different. So that much effort is demanded on the part of a poet if you are sticking on to what you call meter, rhyming words, rhythm, pattern, everything. And obviously we have to appreciate such genius. അല്ലേ ആലോചിച്ച് നോക്കിക്കേ അത്രയും ലെങ്തി ആയിട്ടുള്ള ഒരു പോയാണ് എലിജി റിട്ടൺ ഇൻ എ കൺട്രി ചർച്ചിൽ. എനിവേ യു ഹാവ് റിട്ടൺ ഡൗൺ ദാറ്റ് കംപ്ലീറ്റ്ലി ആസ് പാർട്ട് ഓഫ് യുവർ അസൈൻമെന്റ്. Those who have finished off that, you know, it's comparatively very lengthy a poem. If you want, you can check out in your check your notes, and you can see how lengthy it is. And to compose the whole poem in the same meter is it's very hilarious a task on the part of a person. If we do like that, if we start doing like that, it takes hours and days and weeks maybe to get these proper words, apt words and composition. You have to observe the stress. This word, the stress falls here. That next word, stress falls there. So I should not choose this or that. This is the way it changes. So it's a demanding much effort on the part of the writer. Then compositions written in meter are also known as verse. You know, verse. How we distinguished in between the term verse. Meter. It's must that you have meter for you to call it a verse. VERSE. Poems actually you can it's freely if you are writing without having without concerning any of these, it's fine. But when you write down using meter, it's really appreciated. It should be appreciated because it is much. It demands much effort and yeah, careful way of approaching the composition. Rhythm. So hope you will not be confused in between rhyme and rhythm. Rhyme is the way of making this, bringing this effect, but rhythm can be taken as the whole effect of any of all these literary devices in unison. That's why we teach you this module before actually going into poems in general, because you can identify all these rhyming pattern. Now, when you see some rhymes there, right, I deal with the poem, or the other faculty deals with the poem. You can find out, oh, this is rhyme, this is rhythm, this is rhyme, this is rhyming effect. Oh, this is this meter. This particular poem is written in this and that meter. So you can now identify once you are aware of all these possible terms attached with this. Now to the next topic, line. What is a line? In Malayalam, it is Vaidigal. Hey, you compose a poem using different lines. In prose, essay, article, novels, you don't have line-wise division. At least think about the way you have finished of writing the poems prescribed for you. After writing a particular part, you have space left out there. Still, you don't you don't try to use that space. You knowingly or unknowingly go to the next line. Next line of your note means that is the next line of the poem. So you are at least aware. We are at least aware that this cannot be written as you write a novel or a short story. If you're copying down a short story, or if you are writing down an assignment on something like if you are writing an essay, you don't leave space in between, or if you finish up one whole line space in one line and then come to the next one. But in the case of writing poem, it is different, and the concept is line itself. വരികൾ എന്നുള്ള കോൺസെപ്റ്റിലാണ് അല്ലെ നമ്മൾ നിങ്ങൾ ആ പോയം എഴുതുമ്പോൾ ആരെങ്കിലും ആ ഒരു വരിയിൽ കുറെ ബാക്കിയുണ്ട് സ്ഥലം, ഞാൻ എന്തിനാ നോട്ട് കളയുന്നത് വെച്ചിട്ട് അവിടെ എഴുതുവോ? ഇല്ല, അടുത്തതിലേക്ക് നമ്മൾ അങ്ങ് പോവുകയാണ്. കാരണം നമ്മുടെ പോയം അങ്ങനെയാണ് എഴുതപ്പെടുന്നത്. It's written and given to you in that way. All the poems are written in that way, and the concept is with a line, that is vadigal. So, and stopped line. And then what do we mean by three main types of lines? End stopped. It's a line ends with a full stop. Means the poem is not ending there. Poem may be running to next and many other lines. But a line ends with a full stop. First, one line is ended in itself. The whole concept it wants to communicate is given within that particular line itself. Only one line. And so a line ends with a full stop. And stop a line. Next type is the most common type, like a run-on line or enjambment. Another term is enjambment. A line doesn't end at a line but moves to the next. Take some of the poems that's prescribed for you. A line doesn't end at a line. Some 2 or 3 lines together communicate a particular idea, so that you don't stop just after first part. It runs to next 2 or 3 lines together, and then they all together constitute a line. Stands actually next idea, we will come to that. A line doesn't end at a line, within a line, but it moves to the next. If you are writing it in a note, it moves to the next line of the note, next space, next you have to, if you are typing down, you have to press the enter key, but still you don't put a full stop in between. Then Sashura. It's a pause within a line, a phrasal pause within a line. So, pause within a line. It's like you pause in between. You don't have a comma. You don't feel like it had to be ended, but still you know that it has a continuation. Still a pause is there. Like if you sometimes it is with a semicolon. Uh, Next line you don't. Sometimes we have the tendency to start all the lines with the capital letters. Nowadays it's not compulsory, but in the past we did have this practice of doing this. Though the first line didn't end there, you don't have a full stop there. The next line, even though it is just the continuation of this, you have the tendency to, or the poets of the past had the tendency to capitalize each line of a poem. Whether it is the continuation, whether it is some new idea, no. Every line, they were very particular. Most of them were very particular about capitalizing that. Let's take some of the examples. Take this example. The Solitary Reaper by William Wordsworth. I don't know, I'm not sure whether we will get an example possessor, but behold her, single in the field, yon solitary highland lass. Actually, this is not the first type of line. It's not ending there. It runs to next. Here, every line is starting with a capital letter. Just take this line. Some natural sorrow, loss or pain that has been and maybe again. Actually, this is about that pain itself, and if you are writing down in an essay or something, you never capitalize here. That has been. That is about the pain that he's talking. Some natural sorrow, loss or pain that has been and maybe again. From Solitary Reaper, if you take, you can definitely see it's just about the pain that is told, but that T is again capitalized just because it is at the beginning. And this is a practice, and nowadays people are innovating new techniques, new ways, new styles. Poetry has become more liberal. Poetic composition also has become more liberal. So Shraddha is about the pause within a line, and we have to take some example, but whether it is here. Can't get it here. No, I don't. Stop here. Or gently pause. Not even that. Actually, very unlikely pause you see, and the next it runs to next line. For the sake of actually, it's a deliberate pausing. It's running. It's a phrase with a pause within a line. Phrasal of pause within a line. Even such an ending, you can even the split. Behold her, single in the field. That's not a session. That cannot be taken as a shura. Obviously, it runs to the next line as part of composing, the mode of composition. But so shura example we will take later. We'll get some example for shura later. Okay, let us. The next topic, see we come across lines, different kinds of lines possible for composing a poem we have come across. So we take this as an example, we will confirm later, like as I storms to, pause within a line, a phrasal pause within a line. And then next it's about the stanza. It's very important. Stanza is very important. Stanza. What is the idea of we're talking about stanza as an Italian word which means stopping words. Stopping words. What is it? The term means stopping words. But in poetry, the concept, how does the concept of stanza work out? Let us see. Stanza is, by definition, if you want, just one line can compose a stanza. 2 or 3 lines together only may compose one stanza. Sometimes a stanza comprises of some 14 lines, 18 lines. So if you put it very simply, the whole idea a poem communicates many ideas. A poem may communicate a lot of ideas. First about the childhood, then about the youth, then about the adult stage. Think about this a poem which is trying to communicate three stages of a human life. Yeah,
Ma'am,
sweet. Yes, stanza. So it's just an example I gave you. Like you are trying to write down a poem about a human life. First about childhood, then about youth, then about old age. So you would like to organize your concepts first. If you are talking about the beauty of childhood, the innocence of childhood, if you would like to organize your concepts, your ideas, if you want, you can decide it to be divided into three different stanzas. So, first idea that is about childhood, you put it in the first stanza. Maybe one or two lines, three or four lines, that is up to you. A stanza may be comprised out of one line or two lines, three lines, which are according to the concept, according to the demand of the idea that you would like to. Childhood, about childhood, you are fond of your childhood. So you would like to write some 10 lines about it. Then second thought, if you it's really organizing, it's good that if you are really planned about organizing, you can keep the number of lines consistent. Otherwise, also it's fine. So that is possible. But stanza as a concept, yeah, one stanza, according to traditional view, it's preferable that it communicates one idea. Another idea in the same poem, you can bring it in the next stanza. Or if you want, you can use a different stanzas for different ideas, and the last final stanza for concluding as a conclusion. In sonnet and all, you will come across that idea. Sonnets, 40-lined poems. Hmm? Yes. Let us see. Monostitch. What is this monostitch? Actually, a poem with the one line. Without there is no other stanza division, nothing. In a station metro. Misra Pound, modernist form. I told you, traditional way of idea about composing poem. It's very different from nowadays the modern way of composing. Even the free way of composing poems without concerning, without taking into account the meter, rhyme, rhythm, pattern, nothing. You just compose whatever comes to your mind and you say that this is my poem. Nowadays this is possible. Nowadays, this is the way people button poetry. We talk about button poems, haikus, very small, short poems. We don't have the kind of compulsion that it should be this much length with this much lines. This number of lines should be there. Nothing is there in the modern time. We are inventing different types. പുതിയ എക്സ്പെരിമെന്റ്സ് ആണ് ഇതിന്റെ ഒരു കോമ്പോസിഷനിൽ വരുന്നത്. അപ്പൊ അവിടെ പണ്ടാണെങ്കിൽ ഈ ഒരു വൺ ലൈൻ പോം യു ജസ്റ്റ് റൈറ്റ് ഡൗൺ ആൻഡ് try to publish. No one will take care of you. They will say that you just go and sit at home. You are not supposed to write poems. But nowadays it's different. Ezra Pound is one of the prominent figures of modern times. Modern uh, writings. We have a different feature, literary type, modern writings. As we talk about 16th century, now you know. When you learn 60, you are learning, you are studying history of English literature. But you know how different the old English literature is from Middle English literature. When you go to 16th century, 17th century, changes will come the way of poets and writers they are approaching themes, subject matters. In the past, it was just about religious hymns, HYMNS, praising gods, kings, queens. But later, it turned into nature and all. Praising nature. People began to turn to nature, towards nature, praising natural beauty. We will come with Wordsworth, Coleridge, how much importance they gave to natural beauty, writing poems about nature, daffodils, uh, or Ode to a Nightingale, Ode to West Wind. All these are immediately connected with the nature. So now we have the difference in approach towards composing poems, selecting the themes. ഇപ്പോൾ പണ്ടാണെങ്കിൽ ആദ്യമൊക്കെ എന്ന് പറഞ്ഞാൽ ഇതാണ് ദൈവസ്തുതികൾ അല്ലെങ്കിൽ കിങ്സിനെയും ക്വീൻസിനെയും പ്രൈസ് ചെയ്തിട്ട് കൊട്ടാരം കവികൾ എന്ന് പറയാം ലോറേറ്റ്സ് ക്വൈറ്റ് ലോറേറ്റ്സ് ആക്ച്വലി. പക്ഷെ പിന്നെ എന്തായി മാറിയത് തീംസ് ഒക്കെ അവർ സെലക്ട് ചെയ്യുന്ന രീതി, അതിനെ അപ്രോച്ച് ചെയ്യുന്ന രീതി എല്ലാം മാറി. അതുപോലെ ഏറ്റവും ലേറ്റസ്റ്റ് സ്റ്റേജിൽ വരുന്നതാണ് ഈ മോഡേൺ റൈറ്റിംഗ്സ്. സോ ടോക്ക് അബൌട്ട് മോഡേണിസം ഈസ് നോട്ട് ജസ്റ്റ് ഇൻ ഡ്രസ്സിങ്, ഫുഡ് കൾച്ചർ. അതിൽ മാത്രമല്ലല്ലോ, ചേഞ്ചസ് വരെ എല്ലാ ലിറ്ററേച്ചറിലാണ്. ഏറ്റവും ആദ്യം ചേഞ്ചസ് വരെ ലിറ്ററേച്ചറിലാണ്. All the changes you come across actually in art area, art realm of art, and then you bring that into your lifestyle and all. We think the reverse, though we think the reverse. Actually, the changing, drastic changes, the ideas about the changes, all these occur in literature itself first. That's why it's intricately connected with the literature, its life. So we always talk about literature as the humanization of the whole world. That's a beautiful quotes I have ever come across about literature. എന്താ പറഞ്ഞേ? ലിറ്ററേച്ചർ എന്താണ്? ഇറ്റ്സ് എ ഹ്യൂമനൈസേഷൻ ഓഫ് ദ ഹോൾ വേൾഡ് എന്നാണ്. വേൾഡിനെ മുഴുവനും മനുഷ്യത്വം കൊണ്ടുവരിക, അതിനു വേണ്ടിയാണ്. When you read poems, when you read novels, short stories, you feel for that characters. You think that is what they speak is right, what they do is right. When you read a short fiction, a short story about Miss Beam's school for sympathy, you get some ideas and you get an idea about humanity, the necessity of being human. We will be away from our topic, so I don't want to go further. Still, you have to get the idea what this this modernization, modern was very important. And modern time we have different experimenting in the artistic spaces, artistic realm. In a station metro as a poem, let us see how it looks like. You have to see that flesh and blood poem itself. In a station metro by Isra. How famous it is. See, in one click it came. This poem, you see the poem? You see the poem? It's just one line. It's one line actually. It's just a pose, but it's completely about one line. Only here you see the pose. A full stop. So one lined poem in a station metro, just one poem.
In a Station of the Metro by Ezra Pound. The apparition of these faces in the crowd, petals on a wet black bough.
Oh. So, the apparition of these faces in the crowd, petals on a wet black bough. So this is just this poem. And what did you get from that? Go and search. I will not get you. I will not mitigate its beauty, devalue its beauty. You please go and search for the poem. What does it mean? In one line, how does a poem communicate an idea? It's an images poem. Each word gets you some images. Images poem it is. That's why it's so beautiful. This one or two lines are there. One line, it's monostage. We are talking about mono. Mono, the term means one. The apparition of these faces in the crowd, petals on a wet black bough. In a station metro, the person is there in a metro station. There you see a lot of faces. Think about the modern time when everyone is busy. Every face is tired with the daily life, tension, stress, everything. So apparition of these faces in the crowd. The poet sees the crowd, the apparition of these faces. Faces look like a faded petal on a wet black bow. It's all these faces look like petals on a wet black bow. Petals on a wet black bow, fading or in one way or other withering off. You just try to see the image. In one line, the poet communicated the idea or communicates the idea. It's rapound. Communicates the idea. It's one line itself is enough. And monostitch is the kind of stanza. First type, it is with a one line. Second type is couplet. The term is very important. Couplet. 2-line stanza. You need 2 lines to communicate the idea. 2-line stanza. 2 lines to communicate a particular idea. And if you have a line like this, you have all the stresses, 2-line iambic pentameter lines. Like pentameter, 5. If you have 5 divisions, 5 feet, and rhyming in this way, it's heroic couplet. Heroic couplet is a term prescribed for you. That's why I typed down that here itself. It's 2 rhymed iambic pentameter. Iamb, how does it look like? And penta is a term for 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 2 rhymed iambic pentameter lines together. If you have this kind of a pattern, iambic pentameter, iambic, actually the typing error it is. We'll have to correct it. Yes. So, 2 rhymed iambic pentameter. For it to be an iamb, hope you are not confused, iamb, should we go back? Iamb. Iamb is, unstressed stress. Chalky is the reverse. Stress after unstress. And anapestic and dactylic, 4 kinds we have already come across. In that first type, iamb. And what is an heroic couplet? Certain poems are completely written in heroic couplet. What does it mean? Means, all the pattern, all the stress, it follows this pattern like iambic, but with 5 feet, 10 syllables, 5 feet, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 2 rhymed iambic pentameter. 2 lines together and couplet. Only 2 lines are there. So it is second type 2-line stanza. Triplet. As the name suggests, it's 3-line stanza. Means, first line doesn't end with a full stop. Second, it runs to second and third. You can see at the third part, full stop. Triplet. So all those 3 lines together communicate, 3 lines together will form an idea. Like about childhood or about youth, adulthood, whatever. Triplet, 3 lines come together and stanza itself. It's not just about 3 lines, but stanza should communicate a particular idea altogether. Then quartet. The term stands for 4-line stanza. If you find out a poem with a different, nowadays we don't have a consistency at all. In the same poem, you can see some stanzas with a 4 lines, some with a 2 lines, some with a 1 line only. So this is there is no compulsion regarding its consistency now. In the past, as I told you, it was more strict. The composition rules were very strict. പണ്ടാണെങ്കിൽ അങ്ങനെയൊക്കെയാണ്. അപ്പൊ ഇപ്പോഴെന്താ, ചിലപ്പോൾ ഒരേ പോയറ്റിനുള്ളിൽ 2 സ്റ്റാൻസ ഉണ്ടാവും, ചിലപ്പോൾ 4 സ്റ്റാൻസ ഉണ്ടാവും. അപ്പൊ അങ്ങനെ ആ സ്റ്റാൻസ എന്ന് പറയുന്ന ഐഡിയ നിങ്ങൾ എപ്പോഴും മനസ്സിൽ വെക്കുക. എന്താണ്, ഒരു പർട്ടിക്കുലർ ഐഡിയ ആയിരിക്കും അത് പറയും. അടുത്ത സ്റ്റാൻസ കുറച്ച് 4-5 വരി വേറെ കൂടുമ്പോൾ വേറെ എന്തെങ്കിലും ഒരു ഐഡിയ. അതേ പോയറ്റിനെ വേണം, വേറെ ഒരു കണക്റ്റഡും അല്ലാത്ത ഐഡിയാസ് അല്ല പറയുന്നത്. പക്ഷെ ഒരു പോയം തന്നെ നമ്മളൊന്ന് ഓർഗനൈസ്. ഇപ്പൊ നമ്മൾ ജസ്റ്റ് തിങ്ക് അബൌട്ട് പാരഗ്രാഫ് ഡിവിഷൻ ഇൻ അവർ റൈറ്റിംഗ്സ്. വൈ ഡു യു ഗോ ഫോർ ഡിവൈഡിങ് പാരഗ്രാഫ്സ്? നമ്മൾ അണ്ണായി നമ്മൾ ചെയ്തു പോകില്ലേ? when you write down an essay for the examination, you feel like let me get it in the next paragraph only, because one idea is communicated. You wrote something about simple present tense. You would like to write down about present continuous in the next paragraph only. So that is we do it. In the same way, this concept of stanza also takes this idea of organizing some intricately connected ideas, concepts all together. That's why I gave you the very simple example of childhood, adulthood, old age, and all. If you're writing a same form, writing all these in the same form. Quartet, as the name suggests, it's 4-line stanza. Then quintine, a quintet. It's 5-line stanza. The term is somewhat difficult, maybe difficult comparatively. Triplet immediately gets you the idea of three. Quartet. Up to that, we are much aware, much familiar with these 3-4 terms. But quintine, if you plan to learn, if you plan to write down, mention in the exam, you please write down and learn the term. Quintet. 2 terms are there. Then sixth one, sestet or sextet. Sestet, 6-line stanza. That also is a new term. Any of the two, you please learn. That's all. Both, if you find it difficult, you don't have to remember all those. You just opt in between. Quintain. If you are learning quintain, you just write down 5-line stanza. Sestet is 6-line stanza. And you will come across Petrarch and sonnets, where you have this concept. Sonnets are very important. Sonnets are, you will learn about sonnet as a literary type. There you will know this how important it is to divide in between Petrarchal sonnet. Petrarch is one of the prominent composers of sonnet. Petrarchian sonnet is very famous for writing sonnets, composing sonnets. So here, sonnets are 6-line. With sonnets may have 6-line stanza. Sonnets are actually with 14 lines, but there you can see 6 plus 2 division. Either like for here it is C D E C D mean first line, second line, third line. 4th line, 5th line, 6th line, or CDC. This is about the pattern. This is about the rhyming pattern. Means CDE. Next line also you can see a rhyme scheme there. CDE plus a Petrarchian sonnet. You can compose it in 2 different ways. We will take examples for that later, not now, and we will get it more clearly well. Okay. Then septet. Septet. Let me just septet. It's 7-line stanza. That also the term also easily gets you the idea. Septet. The term stands for 7. Number 7. Then rhyme royal. Rhyme royal must be one of the terms for you. That's why it's highlighted here in between. 7-line iambic pentameter composition. Now you know what is an iambic. So pentameter. Iambic pentameter means again the same way. 7 lines. But here if it is just 2 lines, it is going to be pentameter. How it looks like. Let us type down here. Iambic 7 lines should be there. This is first line iambic pentameter. So here you need 7 lines together to call it a rhyme royal. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. One more. This is the way a rhyme royal composition looks like. Again, it's iambic itself. So we took it from here. Iambic. We know this is the combination. And it should be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 7 together only, and you have a special name. That's it. Rhyme royal or this one, heroic couplet. These are special names. And it comes under 2 lines. As it is with the 2 lines, it comes as a second category, subcategory of couplet. കപ്ലറ്റിന്റെ ഉള്ളിലാണ്. അപ്പൊ അതിന്റെ ഒരു ഫീച്ചർ എന്താണ്? കൃത്യമായിട്ടും അയാംബിക് പെന്റാമീറ്റർ. അയാംബ് എന്ന് പറഞ്ഞാൽ ഒരു അൺസ്ട്രെസ് സ്ട്രെസ്സിന് ഈ രീതിയിലുള്ള കോമ്പോസിഷൻ ആണെന്ന് നമുക്കറിയാം. അന്നേരം എന്താ രണ്ടെണ്ണം ഒരുമിച്ച് വരും ഇതേ രീതിയിൽ വരുമ്പോൾ അതിന് കപ്ലറ്റ് എന്ന് മാത്രമേ നമുക്ക് ഇങ്ങനെ തന്നെയാണെങ്കിൽ അതിന് ഹീറോയിക് കപ്ലറ്റിന് ഒരു സ്പെഷ്യൽ നെയിം ഉണ്ട്. അതുപോലെ ഇവിടെ സെവൻത്തിൽ നമ്മൾ സെപ്റ്ററ്റ് ഓൾറെഡി പറഞ്ഞു, അത് 7 ലൈൻ സ്റ്റാൻസ. അങ്ങനെ 7 ലൈൻസ് വരുന്ന ഒരു സ്റ്റാൻസയുടെ മീറ്റർ പാറ്റേൺ ഇങ്ങനെയാണ്, മെട്രിക്കൽ കോമ്പോസിഷൻ ഇങ്ങനെയാണെങ്കിൽ അതായത് അയാമ്പു ആണ്. അതെന്താ, ഒരു അൺസ്ട്രെസ് സ്ട്രെസ്, അൺസ്ട്രെസ് സ്ട്രെസ്, പെൻറ്റാമീറ്റർ ആണ്. അതായത് 1 2 1 2 3 4 5. അതും കണ്ടു. അത് എത്ര എണ്ണം വേണം? 7 ടുഗെദർ. 7 ഉള്ളതിനെ നമ്മൾ എന്ത് വിളിക്കും? സെപ്റ്ററ്റ്. ഇത് എപ്പോഴും വരണമെന്നില്ല, ഏതെങ്കിലും ഒരു കോമ്പോസിഷനിൽ ഇത് കണ്ടു കഴിഞ്ഞാൽ വി ക്യാൻ സേ ദാറ്റ് ഓ ദിസ് ഇസ് റൈം റോയൽ. ദാറ്റ്സ് ഓൾ. Every time we don't have to be in search of rhyme royal and all. Sometimes 7 lines together you see as a stanza, and if you want you can check out whether it is whether iambic and pentameter, then you can assure about it. That's all. Then octave, as the term suggests, its octave means 8 line stanza. 8 line stanza. It's an octave of Petrarchan sonnet. In the Petrarchan sonnet itself, you can see octave, like 8 lines all together, only giving, communicating a particular idea. After that, see, sonnet is 49. 8 plus 6, 6 is again remaining. There may be another idea getting communicated, or the next next 4 lines, 6 lines together, may be communicating giving you a conclusion. But all these together, 8 lines giving you particular idea, the first part of the sonnet. So this is just part of the sonnet, but 8 lines together, and you can call it an octave or octet. These two terms please learn without taking an option. It's very important. Something related with sonnet, whichever term is there, you try to learn it. Okay. Yes. Then the ninth one, ENIAC. 9 line stanza. You can, if possible, you just learn the name. ENIAC. 9 line stanza. 9 lines together and forming a stanza, giving you particular idea. And the 10th and last one, it's origin stanza. Origin stanza. 14 line stanza. This whole sonnet together. But that's a sonnet you cannot take as an example for this. Sonnet is different lines, different stanzas composing altogether 14 lined poem. That's the only definition. You cannot say that whole 14 lines together is one stanza in a sonnet. Sonnet in the idea കൺഫ്യൂഷൻ ആവരുത്. സോണറ്റ് എന്ന് പറഞ്ഞാൽ 14 ലൈൻസ് കംപ്ലീറ്റ് കൗണ്ട് ചെയ്ത് ഉണ്ടാവുന്നേ ഉള്ളൂ. അതൊരിക്കലും ഒരു ഫുൾ സ്റ്റാൻസ് അല്ല. ഇതിങ്ങനെയാണ് 8 ലൈൻസ് ടുഗദർ ഒരു സ്റ്റാൻസ. അടുത്ത ഐഡിയ കമ്മ്യൂണിക്കേറ്റ് ചെയ്യുന്നത് ബാക്കി വരുന്ന 6 ലൈൻസ് ആണ്. അത് വേറെ സ്റ്റാൻസ ആവാം. ഇവിടെ എന്താണ് ഒറിജിൻ സ്റ്റാൻസ എന്ന് പറയുന്നത് 14 ലൈൻസ് ടുഗദർ. 2 ലൈൻസ് മാത്രം ഒരു സ്റ്റാൻസ ആവുന്ന പോലെ 14 ലൈൻസും കൂടി ഒരു സ്റ്റാൻസ ആവേ ഉള്ളൂ. Okay, our confusion, you should not be confused in between. And that's all with the topic stanza, 5th topic actually. 5th part under module 1. Next we will go to poetic diction in the next class. So thank you so much for listening patiently well.